Alright, so my last video on effective exercises was the lying dumbbell tricep extension, and so I want to keep with dumbbell or kettlebell exercises because they're a little more versatile than barbell exercises. They're also a little more easy to demonstrate, and you get the added benefit. You can't really have a big barbell in your apartment, your home all the time. So as you can see, I'm in my apartment here, down in my little sunroom, and I have a couple kettlebells down on the ground there. And so what we're going to do today is going from our upper body, building some power and strengthen our triceps. We're going to build some power into our legs, anywhere from our quads to our hamstrings and our glutes. And we're going to do that by doing a rear foot elevated lunge. And the reason we're going to do the rear foot elevated lunge isn't because it's 10 times better than just a forward lunge or a reverse lunge or anything like that. But what it does is it really requires a lot more stability. And so there's a lot more core activation. And so we're going to kind of knock out two birds with one stone, working on our stability as well as our strength. And I'm going to pause the video here. I'm going to flip it around and I'm going to demonstrate how to do some exercises with my kettlebells and a couple of different variations of how to get the best out of our rear foot elevated kettlebell lunge. All right, so we got our kettlebell. Here we have a chair. You can use a bench. You can use a couch. You can use a stack of books. You can use whatever you want to prop that foot up behind you. As we're going through it, I'm not going to say I'm the greatest athlete in the world, so you may see me having some difficulty. So I'm just going to help you demonstrate that you do require some stability while we're doing this movement. So what you want to do is we're going to start without the weight, in fact, and just use our body weight. So you have to demonstrate that you can do a movement without the body weight before you begin to load the movement. And make sure I'm in the video. And so I want you to cross your arms on your chest or have them laying down by your side, whichever feels most comfortable to you. And we're just going to prop our foot back. Actually, we're going to move forward a little bit. Prop our foot back. You should have a little bit of a stretch in your hip flexor, keeping that torso upright, nice and tight core, just going down and stepping up. All right? So depending on how you go down and how you come up will depend on what muscles you're really activating. I can really sit back onto my heel and push up only with this front leg, or I can kind of go down and push up with both legs. It makes it a little bit easier. It's a little bit of a cheat as you get a little more fatigue. You can use both legs to kind of push you up. We're going to focus just on this forward leg for now. So I'm going to try and keep the weight in the center of my foot. I don't want to go too far forward. I don't want to go too far back right now. I want to try and keep it centered, working on the entire leg development, our hands, glutes, and quads. As you can see, I'm looking straight forward, neutral spinal position, just standing up real tall, coming on down, coming up. If you have trouble getting down all the way, you don't have to do that every time. So if you can only go down this far before you start faltering, that's okay. Go to where you can. Don't go past your own limits, because then you increase the chance of injury, especially if you have a weight. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to roll my pants up just a bit so you can see my leg a little bit better and the angle of my leg a little bit better. We're going to prop that leg back. And so I'm holding the kettlebell or the weight in my opposite arm. And so we're just going down and going up, all right? So going all the way down, extending that leg completely up, going down, coming up. See, I had a little step there because I lost some balance. And so a little progression we can do is we can take the kettlebell away from our center of mass or our center of gravity by raising it up to our chest. This will also pull us forward a little bit, so we have to use our upper back a little bit more, put more emphasis on our quadricep, going down and up, so down and up. It's nice, smooth motion, always under control, never just plopping down. So always nice and controlled on the way down and coming on up. If you're a real champion, which I've tried this before, but I'm going to go for it, you can do an overhead squat, all right? So going down, coming up. So this works on our shoulder stability, making sure we're keeping our core tight. As you can see, I'm using this arm as a counterbalance, make it a little bit easier myself. You can do that, all right? So there are several different variations you can do. Just like our kettlebell dumbbell extension, you can add a band, you can add some chains, you can hold 2 weights, you can hold 1 weight. Let's see other kind of variations. You can step a lot more forward. You can put your leg farther forward in the lunge and situate that glute hamstring tie-in, or you can bring that leg a little farther back, go put a little bit more weight on the quads and get out of breath. But be careful when you pull that leg in forward, because your knee will tend to shoot forward to compensate for the changes in distances that you're going, all right? So there's our kettlebell or our rear foot elevated lunge. It's a fantastic exercise. You can do sets of 10, 15, 20, lower rep sets. You can pause in the bottom and rock it up. You can go down real slow, like a 5 count, pause at the bottom, come up. You can manipulate the rep tempos as much as you'd like. You can do drop sets where you have a heavy weight, do about 10 reps, make sure you do like a isometric at the bottom, drop the weight, do 10 more reps, isometric at the bottom, drop the weight, do that again. That's something I've gotten from John Meadows. He's a great person to look up. John Meadows, mountaindogdiet.com. Not sponsored by them by any means, he's just a fantastic resource. He does lots of stuff with unilateral leg movements, and especially with the rear foot elevated movements. And honestly, it's a great exercise. It'll kick your ass. I'm already breathing hard. I barely did anything. So I'm just an out of shape person. And thanks for watching the video. Hopefully you learned something great, and just go out and get it done. Visit us at xfitgym.com. Learn some things. We'd love to hear from you. We'll see you guys soon.